Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad House of Delmar, together with my co-host Mark Groen, just AY News Service, jbiztechphilly.com. And as you can see right here, columnist for the Jewish Press.
And I'm having a lot of fun with all three assignments, Rabbi. I write a column called the Albany Beat, and talk about how the government relates to the Jewish community, or doesn't, as the case may be. But one type of government that's relating to the Jewish community, or the Jewish community is relating to the government, is in Troy, where the Rosenblum companies are renovating this big project, and Seth Rosenblum is a member of the Orthodox community here in Albany. And with us today is Katie Hammon, who's the Troy Downtown Business Improvement District Executive Director.
I sure am.
Welcome to the Jewish View.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So how's Troy doing with the business? I mean, Mark just gave a good lead in over here. It's really on a boom, on and up. It used to be for so many years. I dealt with them in the Beth Tefillah synagogue, so I was around Troy so many years, and it was, can we say, down in the dumps. But now it's really on an upswing.
It sure is, yep. We're seeing lots of new businesses popping up, and continues to kind of get larger and larger as we go here, right?
Is this phenomenon like New York City was also, I could say the same thing. I used to say, take people to Brooklyn, which is the Lubavitch Chabad headquarters. Rabbi, you want to kill me? What do you take me to Brooklyn for? Literally, they got scared. And now, you know, I just say a house is $1 million. They say, $1 million, you buy a garage down there. You know, it's the place to
definitely
be. So is that like the same kind of phenomena that young people are just, you know, gyrating to the, you know, the old kind of inner cities and renewing them?
Yeah, definitely. And I think to some people who are, you know, getting over Brooklyn, right? It's getting too expensive there. They're trying to move to smaller cities, and, you know, Troy is becoming one of those cities. So we see a lot of the younger people who are starting families, people who are looking to purchase buildings, and we also see, you know, an older crowd who their children have moved out. You know, they're off to college and they're starting to move downtown into some of the new developments and things.
So talk about this, the Rosenblum companies and what they're doing in downtown Troy.
Are you dealing directly with them, or it's just you know about them because you're in business? And
Yeah, I mean, I know about them because they've obviously kind of taken over that Troy Record building. And we did a tour of the space, you know, a few months back. But I don't know too many details, kind of what's on.
But it's basically that they're renovating this Troy Record, where the Troy Record used to be published.
Yep.
And they're
making it
into condos, and how many? But
yeah, so they're
really
making them
nice
into
condos,
apartments with. There's going to be an addition on the backside as well, so there'll be, you know, some amenities as well, which not many of the developments downstairs or downtown have amenities with them, right? So it's going to be a very large project with 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. And in a really good location too as well. So the Troy Record building is it's quite large, right? There's a lot of challenges to that building, but it's a really awesome space and it's been around for quite a while. Challenges
meaning that's going to take multi-million dollars to renovate it.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. There's some different levels to the building because it's had so many additions. So I know that's something that they're working around, and that's a great company to work with them, I know, on that project specifically, because they've worked in so many historic buildings before.
Yep, and you don't want to have, you know, the stepping, you know, where you go from one section or annex of the building, and then, you know, you have steps going up to the next piece, and, you know, you want everything to be level and even.
Exactly.
And I'm sure they're going to, you know, paper over all of those.
Yeah, clever ways to kind of cover some of those things up, right?
Yeah, there are clever ways of doing it. I watch those remodeling shows all the time.
Yeah, right.
Pick up a lot of good tips, you know.
Yeah.
So tell me what else is going on, and tell me if you think there should be how to get a kosher restaurant down in Troy.
I'm sure there's spaces available. You just got to know the right people to get in there, right?
Okay. So, you know, but a lot of restaurants, bars, entertainment. I mean, it's a waterfront. I mean, you're, you know, so.
Yeah, it's a beautiful location for all sorts of little shops and things.
Does that make your job easy?
I mean, Troy is definitely on the upswing. I mean, I've come into the bid a little later, obviously. So the bid has been around since 2009, and I'm the third director that's been there. So
wow. Every 2 years, huh?
Every few years, yep. So obviously I'm in a good position right now because there are so many great places there.
But you were staff before you were
I was
executive
staff
director,
before,
so
yeah.
you've been there for 4 years or so now?
Oh, I've been there a little over a year, about a year and a half now.
Okay.
And I worked mostly
And
in
what
events
is
prior.
exactly the position? You're supposed to look for people to move their businesses into Troy?
So a little bit of it is economic development, and that's a portion of it, but most of what we do is marketing, beautification, business development.
Are
So
you supposed to help businesses with applications to get these tax breaks and all this other stuff?
we actually have an economic development coordinator for the city of Troy.
Yes.
So a lot of that goes through her. There's a new economic development coordinator currently. It used to be Monica Krajewski, but has switched over to Cheryl Kennedy. So they deal a lot with that. I mean, I can definitely put them in touch with the right people, which is a good portion of what we do as well for things specific to that.
And what is, you also have something to do with MPAC, which is Rensselaer, the
So-
RPI's Performing Arts Center.
I used to work at MPAC. Yep, I was part-time at MPAC and part-time at the BID for a while.
So what were you doing at MPAC? What's your artsy background, artsy
So
side?
I have more of a background in events. I went to school for music industry. So I worked for the Palace for a while and then started at MPAC as more artist services and event scheduling. So kind of moved in to the BID as a special events coordinator and things. And then kind of worked my way in, and it's a very small organization, so we're able to kind of do everything, right?
It's kind of fulfilling to know, to work so hard over a 6-month period, let's say, or whatever you might have, and then you see this, the fruits of your labor,
Yeah,
all of a
definitely.
sudden is right there, and everyone's having a great time, and, it's because of what, you and your team did.
Yeah, Troy has really grown over the last, 5-10 years or so. And to see the BID coming in, it's been here for almost 7 years now. So, or maybe just 7 years. I think
Yeah.
it was July 2009. So,
Okay, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, the
So-
inner city has so many facilities. I mean, they had the Troy Music House, for example, which I know of, and, that it's something to, I don't know, I'm just trying to understand the shift of people. I can understand it because, I always liked the city. I'm from Chicago, and I sound like, even though I live in Delmar, I guess it's a suburb now, but, but I just think the city, you can walk around, and there's people around, and there's, theaters around, and
Yeah.
music halls. And I always saw it was a shame, again, 10, 20, 30 years ago when New York City was run down. It's like there's so much to offer. I guess it caught on. So now that, that's what, but there are mainly young people. You say old people also are moving in.
all ages, yeah. I think you're
Really?
seeing all ages based off the period of life that they're in, right?
So what's going on with Monument Square?
The Monument Square project.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. They're kind of in discussions again. Obviously, that deal had fallen through. So the city with the new.
What is there again? Explain it.
That's where the
please.
City Hall used to be.
Yeah, so City Hall used to be there. It was demolished. What was that? 10 years ago now.
Oh, is it that
It was
long?
quite a while. I can't remember
Okay.
exactly when it was. But it's gone through different
Iterations.
thoughts, and a couple of different RFPs went out. But they're looking to get the next RFP out. I'm not really sure when exactly that's happening. It seems to me they're going to take their time to figure out what exactly
Don't you think that
needs
it
to
would
happen.
make sense to have the bid involved in the discussions?
Yeah, there was, it's very, very early in the stages of this new
So-
RFP. And they had a meeting, what was it, a couple weeks back now, with any community members that wanted to come. So I was at that, obviously.
But you shouldn't be just any community member. You're a significant part of making this operation happen.
Yeah, we'll see kind of what happens with that. I know that they're planning on having some meetings about it, and we'll see if I
Okay.
end up in those.
So, I just, you got to push yourself in, Like, raise your hand, I want to be.
Yeah, I've definitely talked to, I talked to the mayor about it a little bit, and I'll continue to
Okay.
push that, but.
What?
One of the things, we did have the mayor of Troy on, and I said, well, things are really hopping because it's, you're giving more details, but, the general word is Troy's getting to be the place to, like I said, on an upswing. But is it moving into the inner? He says, yeah, it's true, but that's like near the river, but inside Troy is so a little depressed.
I mean, I think you
so-
see from downtown things spreading. So a lot of downtown has already been purchased. A lot of it is already developed, right? So it's moving outside over, you know, you see South Troy definitely changing with new homeowners and things coming in.
And that's outside of your jurisdiction.
That
It's
is, yep.
downtown Troy bid. That's it. You just have that certain area. You don't
We're
have
in just
South
specific downtown.
Central or Lansingburg or whatever. you know.
Exactly. Yeah, we are just downtown Troy,
Right.
but it is actually quite a large area. And as you see that growing, it spreads definitely throughout Troy. There's also a lot of city infrastructure that's kind of being worked on
So
over in Lansingburg.
How does bid get supported? Do all the businesses in your catchment area pay to
So
be
it's
in?
similar to the Albany bids where
Oh.
we get a percentage of the assessment, the tax assessment.
Oh,
So we get 5% of the tax assessment from commercial buildings.
okay. Whether they want to or not, they.
Yep, they're automatically a member. They're forced to be members, right?
So do you get any pushback from any of the businesses that, like, yeah, I can only make it akin to the student activity fee that we used to pay at college, and people didn't like that it went to NIPERG because they didn't philosophically fit with that organization, but, you know, your fee came, you know, out of your tuition or whatever, so you know, do you have something similar to that in?
Yeah, I mean, I think a few years back there was a vote to, I think after 3 years you're able to vote whether you want to keep the bid or not, and they voted to keep the bid.
Yeah.
So mostly people are supportive of it. Obviously, not everybody loves everything, right? So.
Do you feel, well, you're in this position a few months now, right? Do you feel like you have to be a politician and you have to be the smiling face, the cheerleader in charge type thing?
I definitely talk with everyone,
Right.
obviously in a nice way.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's a political job because people see you, people know you. But I'm obviously not a politician, right? So I'm not hired by the city of Troy. I'm a kind of
Right.
separate nonprofit entity. So.
No, but I'm just saying, do you feel like you have to be in that mode, in that, you know, where you have to
It depends.
feel like you have to glad hand everyone, you have to smile, you have to pat them on the back.
It
good
depends on the
job, keep
situation,
going,
right?
You know.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely do ribbon cuttings and things
Yeah.
with press and whatnot. So it, you know, from the politician world, obviously you're kind of in front of press a lot, and I guess that part of it is definitely something I do.
You're
But
getting used to it, huh?
yeah.
Okay, you cut out for it, you know. Yeah.
It's something I've probably never done before, but I'm happy to. I'm actually a musician, so I've been
Yeah.
in front of, you know, cameras and.
You let your music
Yeah.
talk for you.
Oh yeah.
Interesting, I know
play?
people change professions over here. I mean, music to business is a pretty big jump. How did you jump that way? Or like, what were you
I
playing?
mean, I was more in college. I ended up working a lot on events and project management. So, you know, I have a background in music and events, which really project management and event management is very, very similar. And I just kind of think of downtown Troy as a very large project that I'm managing at this time, right?
So let's give it a shout out. Beargrass Songs.
Oh.
Beargrasssongs.com.
Yeah.
Is that yours?
Yeah, that is.
Okay, so what is how'd you come up with Beargrass Songs?
I don't even remember. That was something that I came up with in high school and just kind of kept the name throughout.
So what instrument do you play, or what
Yeah,
do you
I
sing?
I
or-
sing and play guitar, and then I have a 4-piece or a 3-piece band behind me now.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So are you what level? Are you alto or what are you?
You know from music,
know.
Mark?
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
just
can't remember what it was. I think it was alto and kind of mid-range, but I can't even remember what that is, and I was a
Okay.
music major.
So what sort of music do you? I mean, popular music, popular songs? Or what?
Indie folk rock. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I would.
Peter Paul and Mary type
classify
folk,
as.
or Arlo Guthrie type folk, or
A little more modern than that, right? I am more on the rock style, but not
Yeah.
quite rock.
so what's your favorite? What's a song that you would like, that you always like to sing? And,
Our songs?
yeah,
I don't know. I like them all.
you like them all.
I just
okay.
enjoy playing music in general. Right?
That's it. Okay. All right. Well, I want to get, music's very important. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, you have STEM, which is science, technology, English and math, or engineering and math, and it should be STEAM
Oh,
because they should put
Put
the
the arts
arts
in there?
in there.
yeah, I actually went to an arts school for high school. It was a public arts high school in Tacoma, Washington. And they've since created multiple schools for these different areas as well.
So the Tacoma School of Arts, I see.
Yeah.
Fox Island, Washington? Or?
I'm from Fox Island, yeah.
You're
That
from
was
Fox
in Tacoma,
Island.
Washington.
Yeah, okay. I have relatives from there. So,
Oh, yeah? It's a great area.
So when you were the director of operations of the Palace, now I'm just asking you, Palace is into this talk about the city wants to buy the Palace or wants to sell the Palace for $1 or something?
Well, the palace rented from the city while I was there. I'm not quite sure the deal that's happening right now. I mean, they're looking for, they're fundraising currently, right, to expand the building. But
And do you think that's a good idea?
I think it would be great. I mean,
That the
working
palace-
in that space, the stage is definitely a difficult piece of that building, right? Because it was created originally as a movie theater. So there's steps down to the theater, that you always have to purchase a forklift and things like that when you need certain items in the building. And then it's a smaller stage and it doesn't have wings. So expanding outward would be definitely help the programming there a lot.
And do you think they should sell to the city or
Purchase from the city?
Yeah.
And I don't know the deal that kind of goes on between them.
Because the people who look at the funding of the way the city's 10% of the budget's out of whack, and they're saying you're going to give away this valuable piece of property for $1. How much were they renting from the city? How much?
I don't know.
The director of operations.
Yeah, I didn't deal with that part of finance. Yeah.
They kept that secret from you?
Yeah.
Okay. So how have you seen the Palace grown since you left in 2012? So in 4 years, how have you seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're definitely have as much programming as they had, and I think there's a little more than there was before. I haven't looked too much at the Palace since I left.
You haven't gone back?
I've gone back for a couple movies.
That's it? Wow.
Yeah, I ended up mostly just working like crazy, right? So.
But the Troy Music Hall is doing well, isn't it?
They're doing very well, yeah.
The Troy Music Hall, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot more programming than they've had. This is their the largest season that they've ever had, right? This year.
And they had, and how does that boost business in the downtown?
I mean,
When
it
Troy
definitely pulls a lot of people in that wouldn't necessarily come to Troy, right? They're traveling from Albany or Schenectady.
And do you think they leave the city right after, or do they stop
No,
and
I mean,
spend money?
definitely on the nights that there are performances, you see people out for dinner and, shopping.
And
I
do
think
you
it definitely helps
get
out.
the sense from the business owners when you meet with them or happen to chat with them that they see their receipts going up when there's something happening?
I would assume as much. I actually haven't talked to any of the
No?
businesses around that yet.
You should take
The
it-
season was, they don't open during the summer, so I haven't experienced kind of
Okay.
their impact too
Okay.
much yet. I mean, from a budget perspective,
Their
right?
impact?
Impact.
I'm just teasing. So what would you like us to know about your organization, about the bid that we don't know about, that we didn't know enough to ask you about, that you want to talk about?
I mean, I think what people don't necessarily always understand is that a lot of the programming in Troy is run by the bid. So the Pig Out, Chowderfest, Riverfest, Rockin' on the Rivers, and all the large city events are actually run by the bid. So if you're looking for something to do, we have Chowderfest coming up. We also do Restaurant Week and kind of pulling people into the city, right, for different things.
Do you have to be a Troy business to be part of Chowderfest?
No, definitely not.
So you can make kosher chowder, you can have kosher chowder at the
You
Chowderfest?
could if you have an organization. We'd love to have you.
Well, he's got the Delmar Chabad, it's
Perfect,
his
yeah.
organization, so.
We'd be happy to have you. You
He's
basically,
looking for a kosher restaurant, Mark.
Yeah, but you start with chowder and you go
Yeah.
from there, but.
yeah, all the restaurants that are
in trouble,
outside
huh?
our area.
I'm making trouble.
And Label Morrison.
You and Beth Tefillah, So, yeah, you should reach out and say to the, Jewish community that
Yeah.
there's an opportunity for them they might want to consider.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy to have.
Because they
Anybody
probably wouldn't
come crazy
know,
for
they
some
probably
nice
wouldn't
chowder.
know to talk to you. So if you go talk to label or Ellis Shaver Morrison over at Beth Tefila, you then could
Yeah.
maybe get another pot of chowder.
Yeah, I
that
mean, we
might
bring
be-
in like Boys and Girls Club and things, so we definitely work with some of the different organizations
Yeah.
and bring stuff in.
That area is not really downtown. You wouldn't consider like 82 River Street next to Russell Sage, the Beth Tefillah Synagogue. I don't know what your limits of your
I
boundaries are.
think we are just before that. We end just before that on Congress Street.
Oh, yeah, sure, I know.
They're-
Although I drive past there every single day.
Oh, you do? So you know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the NIST and now Sage Theater Institute is there, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we
But-
kind of wrap around Sage, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Now, who draws the lines for your bid?
It was drawn in 2009, and
But I
then
mean, who can change? I mean, they could be changed, right?
they can't really be changed at this
Why?
point. We would have to create another bid. So like the Lark Street bid and the Central Ave bid are separate, so you would have to create a new bid in a different area if you
Well-
wanted to additional space.
Why?
That's just the way that it's written. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, couldn't the board, how many members are on your bid board?
The board has almost 20 people on it.
So couldn't they vote to say, oh, we want to include these 4 other blocks?
Not that I know of, no.
Because you don't have another bid in that area. I
We
mean,
don't,
you're not
but it could be
encroaching-
created.
But you're not encroaching on someone else's territory, is what I'm saying.
No, we're not, no.
So I don't see, you know.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the deal
Okay.
is with that, but I've been told that we are not able to do that.
But then you ask, why?
Yeah.
See, that's where I get into trouble, is that I
Yeah.
ask people in government why. And I don't take, for example, well, that's just because that's the way it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care. Why, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we definitely see as downtown is expanding, right? We see more businesses popping up that it would be nice to include them, but we
Okay.
currently cannot.
All right, well, I'll put try to make the shidduch, make the connection, and maybe, because they love cooking at Beth Tefila, and they could, how many pounds of chowder, or?
Yeah, I think it's 30 gallons,
Gallons,
is the
30
start.
gallons is what
Mhm.
you would recommend, or require?
Well, we require 30 gallons of each type. So if you have, 2 types, then you need 60 gallons. So.
No, but you're lucky if you get one type out of the kosher
Oh,
chowder.
yeah.
So 30 gallons, huh?
30 gallons
That's
minimum.
it's a fish tank, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll mention it to them. and
Yeah,
see if they-
definitely, we'd be
Well,
happy
when
to
is
have
the Chowder Fest?
It's Sunday, October 9th.
Okay, October 9th, okay. And it's a Sunday,
It is a Sunday.
which is a good thing.
It's 12 to 4.
But is it
It's
a
like right
holiday?
after.
This year,
Okay.
It's
October 9th.
during Columbus weekend.
Yeah.
Columbus Day
It
weekend.
might be, no?
It's fine.
Okay, so they could do it
Yeah.
massively.
Kosher.
What about now, what did it say, the pig out? That's
Troy pig
nothing
out.
that we could never.
Yeah,
we
it's all
can't-
barbecue.
We can't even,
Well, we out the pig.
we can't,
That ain't bad.
we can't reconstitute that,
Mm-hmm.
to something else, so that does us.
Yeah.
So what other, in the summer, you have music fests down
Yeah, so we have Rockin' on the River.
Right.
That's an 8 to 12 week series, depending on the summer. And as well as River Fest, which is earlier in June.
Do you and your band play in any of those?
We don't know. I don't.
You should.
I have to run them, so I'm all over the place.
You're
right on
not
those days.
cloned? I thought you were cloned, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we run the events, and
Yeah.
then we also do a for rent event, which is kind of fun. It's you walk around to all the different spaces that are for rent and for lease in the
Oh, that's
district.
pretty cool.
So we're hoping to switch that into two separate events throughout the year. And then we also do beautification initiatives. We have staff that go around and clean, similar to the other bids. And they're out there cleaning, watering plants, and we
And
provide
you have this
flower
Troy
baskets.
Innovative Garage that Gramercy Communications is doing?
It's
and
going to open soon, probably not quite yet.
What is that about?
Yeah, so it's a workspace for individuals who are looking for a place to work, right? So it's similar to like the Beehive or.
So someone has to pay to have a desk in
You
this
do.
Troy Innovative Garage?
Yep, and you can even walk in if you just want one day. You can walk in and pay for the day, or if you're looking for something once a week, twice a week, monthly.
And they have services like fax machines or computer, Wi-Fi, and
Yeah,
all
they have
that?
conference rooms and
Okay.
anything you could really need from an office they have there. And there's all sorts of different workspaces. So if you want a desk, you can have a desk. If you want a chair or a little area for a table or whatnot, there's all sorts of different locations you can
And
be within the building.
Different amounts for the different amount of space you're taking up.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So, and it's run by Gramercy Communications?
It is, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tom Nardacci?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually just moved into their space, which is in the same building. So Gramercy Communications just moved over to that new building.
Oh,
and
so
then
they're not in the other place that's an historic building where
they
they
used to be
were.
on River Street, and they've moved out of River Street and are now in what is it, 4th Avenue? Is
But
where
I
they are.
thought I thought that's like where the Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus was written in that building or something.
Oh,
They had they had the document of that letter that was sent to the Troy Sentinel.
oh yeah.
They had
I
the
do.
original.
I have gone on tours with Tom Carroll before, and he's told me about this, but I'm not sure all of the details on it.
It's a fascinating story. You should.
Yeah, take a
Learn
tour
about
with
it.
Tom Carroll, and he'll tell you
Okay.
all about the history of Troy.
Okay, are we out of time?
I don't know, we have always another minute. And
We have another
about
minute?
Troy.
Okay. So, yeah, so this poem was written, Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus,
Mhm.
and it was published in the Troy Sentinel, and then it got national
How long ago are you
Right.
talking about?
1890s.
Oh,
And
I don't know what Christmas about
But it,
Hanukkah.
took, but it
over here.
put Troy on the
Really?
map more so than the Collar City in some areas.
Troy is definitely a very innovative city. We've got a lot
Yeah.
going on. There's the Troy bricks and the collars. They had the detachable collars. It's actually the 200-year bicentennial of Troy this year. So we've brought this up right in some of our events and things, as well as the horseshoe was mass produced in Troy.
Uh-huh.
And obviously the Burden Iron Works Museum kind of talks about all these different industrial.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize that, again, I mean, it's on an upswing, but really I know that for about 100 years ago, it was even had a major league team, and, was the place, like you're saying, very innovative, cutting edge, and, I don't know, went downhill a little bit. But now you're bringing it up.
What
Bringing it
about-
back.
Was it 4th Street where Cocapelli's used to be?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with that block? I mean, it just seems like it's so dark and dingy and...
I mean, I think as newer businesses come in there, there's definitely some spaces that are available in that block, and we see more businesses opening up. So I think once more people are there, it shouldn't be.
But is that happening? I mean, is it, because I noticed like the holiday lights stop at 3rd. They don't have them on 4th. And I was just wondering
Yeah,
if...
it depends on the individuals that.
Doesn't seem so
that often
festive.
work there.
And I didn't know if the bid had any, because that's within your catchment area.
It is, yeah.
But I didn't know if if that was something that you...
We're definitely over there for beautification purposes, cleaning up cigarette butts and cleaning the streets and
Yeah.
with the flower baskets. We have flower baskets over there and planters and.
Are you going to put holiday lights up on that street also?
We
or-
don't put holiday lights up.
That's the
It's
city.
usually the individuals that are on that block, but I think the city puts them up as well.
So would you recommend to the city that block needs some more
Yeah, I mean,
holiday spirit?
the farther that downtown grows, right? 4th Street is definitely changing. We've seen with the new Proctor's building,
Right.
how they've been renovating that building, and there's new storefronts there. So I think it just takes the individuals there to really put some energy into it.
And aren't you the inspiration for ginning them up to do
We're
that?
happy to help with anything we can, right? But yeah, it takes the spaces that are there to be filled,
Yeah.
and to kind of take control of the people that are there, and
It's one of the challenges that you have to deal with.
mhm,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's one of those, I mean, as well as things are going in the other areas of downtown, that's one of the areas that now you can focus on because
Yeah.
everything else is kind of...
That area too has actually grown quite a bit.
Fourth?
The block just right before that, if you're coming
Yes.
the one way.
Right, that's where Proctor's is, the block before that.
Block after that, then, if
Okay.
you're coming the opposite way. The Superior Merchandise Company, Forge and Sundry is now moving, but they were just there, the shop, and Rare Form Brewing and the Troy Kitchen. There's a lot of new places that have kind of popped up there, so I think we'll see that change pretty quickly.
And Mark, I think we're out of time, but
Okay.
you know that we want to wish you the best success here.
Thank you.
Troy's on an upswing, so keep on going up and better and better things. We'll hear
Definitely.
from you and do them with good health.
Yeah,
Yeah.
much success.
Thank you, guys.